So today, we already went over the Rhetorical Acts, chapter 5 in our last video, so we're just going to jump right in to chapter 4, reading pop culture, chapter 4, paired readings. So, we're going to start with Saul Austerlitz's The Pernicious Rise of Poptimism, and then we're going to go into Judy Berman's Concerning the Spiritual in Indie Rock, which was a very hard read. So, with The Pernicious Rise of Poptimism, it talks a lot about how music criticism has gotten really weird. And now pop critics are getting attacked if they prefer older artists, or especially white male artists, which I'm not going into that, but the popular culture believes that we praised white male geniuses white males that did music as geniuses. We're like, wow, they're geniuses. But then people like Madonna, who was just as famous, were just pop singers, which is unfair, definitely. And so critics now get so much hate and honestly threats because of what they say. And if you don't like Beyonce, then you're gonna get hated on. And if you don't like Taylor Swift, you're gonna get hated on. Sorry, I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't care. As I actually stated in my last video. But you get so many people are like, what? How could you? But really, all people kind of seem to want is the superficialness of who's Taylor Swift dating this week, or who's in jail now. Which I do believe can be a part of their music and the process, but I believe that music should also, like Saul Austerlitz, we believe that music should be the core of the criticism. But then it's also different things like, we need to celebrate all music and multiple different tastes of music, not just pop. We gotta go jazz and country and rock and roll and all sorts of alternative, whatever. We need to celebrate all multiple tastes of music, and we need to be able to critique all tastes of music. So Saul Austerlitz said a lot about how critics can't critique all types because they get attacked by the reader of their critiques. There's one thing I want to leave you with. Actually, no, I already said that. But people, if you don't like what is the most popular, the most mainstream artists or music, you are just a hater. And we need to praise all music and not just those super popular people, because everyone deserves a chance to be popular, and you can't if we're only focusing on these already popular people. Next we're gonna go to Judy Berman's Concerning the Spiritual in Indie Rock, and I'm gonna be super honest with you. I had to reread this article 3 times. Definitely, this woman expects you to know about indie rock, and I know nothing. I didn't know what I was reading. I got some of the main points, but I also didn't get the actual argument here. which is something that we talked about in this, is that you need a good claim. And I couldn't find the claim in Judy Burnham's Concerning the Spiritual in Indie Rock. So you're not using your resources well. But so she talked a lot about how indie rock is kind of devotional music, and some people mix Christian prayer with it. And then she talked about how in 1998, Neutral Milk Hotel had an album called In the Aeroplane Over the Sea, and it was, the lead singer was obsessed with Anne Frank, which none of that makes sense to me. I'm still lost. And so this author backed up a lot of, I think, her claims. I didn't get the claims, but she had all these different things, like Animal Collective had My Girl, and Arcade Fires had Neon Bible, which had a lot of call and response to it, similar to spiritual, or to like church type things. And then there was Ice Cream Spiritual, which, who would name a band that? I don't know. Or an album? No. And in some ways, indie rock is, overall, I got that indie rock is spiritual, and it's like a church to many of the people that listen to it, and that's as much as I could get out of it. Hopefully you can get more. But thank you so much for listening. That is it for this episode, or vlog. So thank you, and like and subscribe.